Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Tea, You and Me with Coach Powell. I've been doing this program now for almost 3 years. And since COVID started, every Friday, we have never failed to come to you with some amazing programming and some amazing training for entrepreneurs, small business leaders. My heart is the small women and minority owned businesses that are out there, solopreneurs, uh, the hustlers, that are trying to make it happen for themselves and their business. I love them for a very specific reason. One, I'm one of you. I get it. I know the ups and downs, the ins and outs, the things that you have to go through to be successful. And I've been doing it myself for more than 20 years. Been helping entrepreneurs and business leaders with my own coaching platform that I designed, I certified, I ratified, I verified. Guess what? All by myself. And I'm telling you, that's just not the way to go. If you guys have presented or shared any of the information that I have talked about in the previous sessions to this one, you know that we're on a sojourn. We're talking about how to become masterful at developing your business relationships such that you will never have a hard time finding the right advisors, finding the right counselors, finding the right coaches, finding the right mentors, and sometimes finding the right therapists, right? You have to figure out who you can develop a good counsel, a good inner circle. The strategy I'm going to be talking about in the next couple of weeks is going to be developing your hero counsel. How do you get in front of the smartest, most intelligent, most powerful, most passionate, and caring people in your industry and win them to your cause, win them to your development, win them to your becoming insightful for your business, becoming investors for your business, becoming partners, becoming collaborators with you as you grow into an amazing vision for what you're trying to accomplish. And we start that with the 9-step process. And so we're at the end of this now. We've been talking about execution for the last couple of weeks. We're going to finish that out, but we're not just going to talk about execution. We're going to show you how to do it. We're going to talk to you about the tools that you need to hone your techniques, your tactics, your strategic orientation. How do you bring it all together into a winning, executable performance so that you can get the most out of your opportunities and help others get the most out of working with you? This is going to be brilliant stuff. So I want you to pay attention. I want you to engage. If you haven't already logged in on the comments and told us who you are, where you're coming from, please do that. I don't care where you're watching. If you're watching this from LinkedIn or you're watching it from Facebook or YouTube, make sure you log into the comments. Make sure that you let us know who you are. If you have an offering of any type, a special deal, a value proposition, whatever it is that you want to offer, put it in the comment section. I will tell you right now, I'm working on a special offering that I'm carrying over from Veterans Day into and through Juneteenth, to help entrepreneurs and business leaders take a maximum value proposition of all that I have to offer. And I'm offering a 50% off. Now, what does that mean? That means literally half off the normal cost of what I would charge to do anything with me. Would that be coaching or sponsoring different programs or creating opportunities for collaborative partnerships, winning entrepreneurial proteges and all kinds of good stuff. Whatever you need to have happen for your business that I can offer is 50% off. So the only reason you wouldn't call me today is because you're scared to lose money. But here's what, it's good stuff. I'm one of the few coaches on the planet. I don't know of anyone, as a matter of fact, but I'm going to say I'm one of the few because I don't know them all, who's offering a 100% money back guarantee on my premium package of services. 100% money back guarantee. Now, I can offer that 100% money back guarantee because I'm very selective about who I bring on as a client. But that doesn't mean because you might not be ready for me to put you on the field right now. You might not be ready for me to put your business out there and for me to promote you and for me to, push you in the direction that you need to go for your business. That doesn't mean that I want to play with you, because I got lots of free tools and lots of information that I could give you to get you, make sure you're set up, make sure you get yourself ready so that you can be coachable and you can win whatever game that you want to play at the highest level possible for you. My name is Coach Powell. We're in Coach Powell Training and Development. We make it happen for entrepreneurs and business leaders all over the world every day. It's what I love. It's what I do. And it's how I make my legacy a reality for the world. Okay, so today's topic, let's get into it. Today's topic is super special. And if you haven't already, shared this online or shared this show online with your friends and families, shame on you. You're keeping me a secret. That's not what we're about. We're about sharing. We're about collaborating. We're about opening up opportunities. So if you haven't already liked us on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever you're watching us, Instagram, wherever you're watching us, please do so. Now hit the share button, the like button, hit the whatever buttons that you can hit that will make your social media, profile and our social media penetration work the way it should work. Today, we're talking about execution. How do you execute your plan for world domination, right? How do you execute your plan for making sure that you and yours come out on top when it comes to your business? And I will tell you, as a coach, there is nothing, I repeat, nothing more important to elevating your level of trust that you have with the people that you want in terms of where you want to go, and as developing that brilliant executable plan, having that brilliant strategy to get you all the things that you want to get when it comes to working with other people. And so let me do this with you. Let you understand a few things about execution while I get some of the junk out of your way so you can see this. This is the screen. I'm going to read this to you directly because I want you to understand how important it is. I may stop and take some breaks between, because after this, I'm going to show you some tools and some processes that I use all the time that's available to you right now in the chat. If you pull down the chat for LinkedIn, or you pull down the chat for YouTube, you pull down the chat for any place, you can find the documents that I'm going to be sharing with you today. But here's the deal. No matter where you are in your networking atmosphere, you must have some idea of how you want to win. You can't just go, I want to win. I'm sorry, my friend, not good enough. You have to have some idea about how you want to win, why it matters to you to win, what winning looks like. And you really have to have, without a doubt, a well-designed, brilliantly implemented, well-written plan so that you have a blueprint, so to speak, that you can always fall back on. You can share it so that anybody who's working with you knows that you're not just winging this. You're not just flying by the seat of your pants. You've done your homework. You've done your research. You understand the best opportunities for you, whether you are attending a conference or going to a meeting or showing up in partnership with somebody else in some sort of collaborative effort or event that you want to share. All of this is possible, but you have to understand a couple of key things. You don't have time to waste, right? Everything and every effort that you put forward has to be a value add effort. You cannot capture the right relationships by doing things halfway. You can't capture the right relationships by not engaging the right kinds of people in the right networks at the appropriate time. You're not developing a bigger and brighter opportunity for yourself or your company if you don't do it right often, right? And make sure that you put the time, effort, and energy into it. You can't get that time back. You can't get that effort back once you've wasted the opportunity, once you've done something that's going to create a bad taste in the mouth of your market or your target audience. You don't necessarily get a chance to do it over. You don't get a do-over. You don't get to come back and go, I apologize, I did this wrong, can we do this? No. Your reputation is already set based on how you performed the last time they saw you perform. So I can't stress this enough. When you get all of this networking stuff that I've taught you over the last 22 weeks wrong, you run an incredible risk of repelling instead of attracting highly qualified prospects and referral sources. You run the risk of making sure that investors run away from you instead of running to you. You run the risk of making sure that high industry leaders who should be supporting you in what you're trying to do decide they can't work with you. It's too much of a risk for them and their reputation to be seen with you, to be associated with you, or anything like that. Forget giving endorsements, testimonials, and all of the good stuff that you're going to need, the third-party influence you're going to need to truly prove the character and quality of what you bring to the table. People will simply opt out of working with you. They won't share opportunities, even those that could be perfect for you, because quite frankly, they'll be unsure of how you'll behave. But if you follow the steps that I've already highlighted for you, every step that's in the document that I've shared with you, documents that I've shared with you in the past, you're going to become a winner. And again, if you have questions on any part of any of the strategies that I have shared with you, do me a favor, contact me. Send me an email. Ask me the question. Engage today. The more you engage with the information, the more you ask questions, the more you share your insights and views, the more you're going to lock into your psyche, into your memory, into how you are and who you are, the better you're going to be on your way. More about that in just a couple seconds. Let me share with you some tools. These are some of the tools that I've used over the past. You may want to, again, all these tools are interconnected with one another in terms of creating a well-written, well-developed plan for yourself. If you have these tools already done and already filled out and already taken care of, you're going to be well on the way of creating the kind of strategy, the provable strategy that people will begin to enjoy and begin to believe that you can pull off whenever you need to, right? But you'll need to have the right resources and tools. The first resource and tool I suggest you think about is a one-page overview of your vision, your mission, the steps to be taken, the methodology you want to use, and the core principles and guidelines that will dictate how you're going to do the thing that you intend to do. So if you intend to build an advisory council, you're going to have a separate mission and vision for that. If you intend to just make a major program happen, you're going to have a separate one-pager for that. If you intend to do whatever your major outgoing goal is, you don't need 10,000 documents or anything like that you have to do. You just need to have some well thought out ideas, again, to start you off. This is a document that I can share. In fact, this particular document was a document that I put together to train a guideline for me to do a takeover for a local industry that I was trying to penetrate. And I did penetrate phenomenally well and got the key leaders of that industry to just basically fall in love with me. And that's everything I did right there in front of you to make that happen. But that's not all. When you're going to create a strategy, you're going to create a full out, long-term process, something that's sustainable. You're going to need more, right? This is just not the program, but you're trying to get, your entire business practices long-term in place. You want to make sure you have a well-written, well thought through, well-developed guideline. And it starts with something like this. Here's another one-pager that I've already completed and filled out that talks about my current situation and my future situation. Now, this is for the program that you're watching right now. I had no clue back in the day that this was eventually going to be an online program, because this was a personal program, Coffee, Tea, You and Me, as a matter of fact. But I was able to pivot because I already had such a well thought through, well developed program on paper, so that when I executed it and I needed to make any adjustments, I was able to adjust it. You see, the top half of that document is really all about the current situation back then. I think I did this back in 2004, somewhere around there. But there was a current situation. What are the factors? What are the statements? What are the realities? What are the things I could say about my current situation that I was in? Right? They're all highlighted there. But what I want to highlight for you is question number 1 and 2 that I answer in terms of dealing with those statements. Questions number 1 and 2 for the kawaida statement, the kawaida questions are, these are analysis questions that you may want to use. I got taught these questions very, very early in my academic career by Dr. Maulana Karenga, who is the founder of Kwanzaa. And the kawaida questions are these. Question number 1 is, who am I really? In your current situation, who are you? What do you offer? What do you bring to the table? And then question number 2, after you ask, who am I? Who am I really? Right? Because who you really are is a function of how others give you feedback and share with you what they see in you and what your brand might really do for them, and what you might really represent as you go about doing and being the thing that you are doing and being the person that you are doing and being in any situation. So you need to really understand all of that stuff is a statement of your own identity in the space that you're trying to play in. Right? So I start off with a current program statement of Coffee Tea You and Me. What is Coffee Tea and You and Me when I first got started? It is a weekly program that helps entrepreneurs develop their business and develop their strategy. That's all it was. That's a statement, right? But what is the indication that, I am the person that could do that? And what are the indicators that I am the person that are the factors and resources that I bring to the table? And that's all highlighted as well, right? Now, that's a statement of where I am. That gets you oriented to where you are right now today. But now that second box at the bottom, that's all about where you're going. And that forces you to ask the third kawaida question. Remember, the first kawaida question is, who am I? The second kawaida question is, am I all that I ought to be? The third kawaida question is, the first question is, who am I? The second question is, am I really who I say I am? And the third question is, am I all that I ought to be? You see, there's a future visioning in that question. What is the vision for this particular program that I had at that time? And what's that vision statement going to look like? Right? What is the future vision of Coffee Tea You and Me? And that's in that first box of that bottom box, that statement, that vision statement of where I want this thing to go, where I want this thing to be. And it's a statement that I put together that I understand. And that statement, when I read it today, I feel a sense of fulfillment. I feel a sense of destiny calling for this program. What I want it to be. And then and below that, I have arrival indicators. These are what I call, you can substitute that thought process for goals, but these are things that will have happened to validate and vindicate and ratify what I think my vision for Coffee Tea You and Me will be, right? And you can set these up as goals, you can set these up as objectives, any way you want to, but these statements are the things that if you want to achieve them, you'll know that you're getting close to, or you accomplished that vision already. So these are basically 6 quick statement things that I know that if I achieve in this process, I will be satisfied with the vision that I originally cast for Coffee Tea You and Me. So you have to have an understanding, again, of where you start, where you are in any program, any objective, any goal, and then where you hope to arrive, where you're going to arrive, right? And there's a lot of training involved with that that I help people with all the time. But now here's what the good stuff is. This is the action opportunity gap. You see that gap in the middle of that page, right? This is the stuff that that you have to take action on. Whatever opportunities you can find, whatever resources you can find, whatever tools, processes, strategies, systems, people, whatever you got going on, all of your T3 resources. When I call T3 resources, we're talking about time, talent, and treasure. What do you have available that you could take action on that could close that gap? The distance between, where you are today and where you want to be in the future. You want that gap to narrow with some solid information like this. What is the data? What is the information? What are the mission critical keywords when people think of or talk about what you bring to the table? What are they going to be talking about? What language are they going to be using? What strategies are they going to be thinking about? What are the mission critical keywords or value propositions or concepts or ideas that you must master in terms of accomplishing some change in an opportunity gap? Now, if you've ever done a SWOT analysis, if you've ever done something that mentions your strengths, your weaknesses, your opportunities, your threats, right? You know how important it is to really figure out what the real opportunities for you are and how do you capture those opportunities, right? Now, once you come up with these keywords, you may think about strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Like I said before, you may also think about, how they're defined today and how you would redefine them if you even had a chance to redefine them. But you need to capture that keyword. You need to have that keyword strategy, because when people go looking for you, they're going to go looking for something like whatever it is those keywords are. Now, when I put together this plan for Coffee, Tea, You and Me, I kind of figure out, okay, what are people looking for? People, when they find Coffee, Tea, You and Me, when they do Google searches, when they do whatever, what are they looking for? These are things that I later on would base articles around that would help attract people to my website or attract people to my online offerings or my social media pages or whatever. And then I could later, develop whole programs and whole strategies around those key words and those key ideas and understandings, because I know it would be more to make them more attractive to Coffee, Tea, You and Me as an offering. And it would be easier for me to get sponsors, and it would be easier for me to get others to value what I'm bringing to the table so much so they want to jump on board. That did in fact happen, right? The next box that you see underneath that, these mission critical keywords, is your value-based affirmation statements. I can't tell you how many times these kinds of statements have saved my life. And I mean, what I mean saved my life, I mean, it's helped me to stay resilient. It's helped me to keep going forward. It's even when I share them with other people, they get to understand a little bit more about what this means to me, or what it means to other people, and how I'm going to be moving forward, and what values, what am I pulling from my character? What values do I have that I want to share with the rest of the world? And what is a great way to articulate those particular values in the doing of everything that I say and do when it comes to Coffee, Tea, You and Me? Those value-based affirmation statements are critical. I would say you could create a full plan, a full execution plan, without having them. And so that's why there's so many slots there on the forms that I created, right? So you need those value-based affirmation statements. The next thing you're going to need, and this is a step that I suggest you never skip, right? You need to have a prioritized and dated SMART goals and objective. And don't shirk any of this, right? Because as you set your goals out, there's a certain sequence by which you need to achieve those goals. And I like to make my goals A goals, B goals, and C goals. A goals are the must-do things. These are absolutely critical, and I cannot get to my vision. I cannot get to my mission. I cannot move the needle if I'm not accomplishing those A goals, right? And then the B goals are goals that I know I should do. It's not going to kill me if I don't get them done right away. It's not going to kill me if I don't get them all complete and squared away, but they are still very, very important, right? And then those C goals are the things that I kind of like to do. I mean, in fact, if I don't really put them in any type of prioritized sequence of any type, I may let those C goals, the things that I like to do, the things that really are super sexy to me in the moment, I may let them capture all my attention and never really get around to the key prioritized goals, right? So the key goals. Now, when it comes to A's, B's, C's, that becomes clear. Now, which A goes first? And when in the year do I think I might do that? Right? So if you notice on the right side, there's a little calendar representative representation that lets me know that I probably should be working on this one in January. I should be working on this stuff in February. I should be working on this stuff in March, April, May, whatever parts of the month or the year that I think I'm gonna be most likely, if I'm picking up steam and I'm keeping a steady pace of achievement, I'm gonna be knocking these goals out. I'm gonna knock them out in the proper sequence. Now, I'm gonna say this here. This is critically important throughout your year planning or 5-year planning or 1-year planning, whatever you're doing. It's not necessarily important that you hit every goal in sequence. Some goals can be done out of sequence and can be done first, even if they're just going to be, they could be sitting around waiting for you to come pick them up and move them ahead during the proper time. But it's important to get like the easy stuff that you can just knock it out, get that momentum going. I think that's super important and critical, especially if you run in teams. You might want to think about the goals that are easiest for you to do right now, so you can show some big wins and move and help your team, move themselves forward faster, right? And I understand there's a rhythm to everything, but you want to start out with the pace. You want to set that pace of achievement, like so people get used to knocking out the goals and achieving things you want to do. What I love, this is one of my favorites, right? Learning what to assign and delegate, right? How to come up with the proper habit structure and the tasking responsibilities for an organization. Super, super, super important. You want a list of daily, weekly, monthly tasks, things that you're going to have to achieve on a regular basis, things that you're going to do every single day, every single week, every single month. And then assign people the responsibility of not necessarily doing it all, but making sure that it does get done. Assign them, and don't just give them partial authority or partial responsibility. Give them full authority and full responsibility. And so they can give you the feedback that you need to make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to work. Learning how to delegate and delegate appropriately is super, super important. Now, I got to share with this. If you've built the super strong network that we've already talked about, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, this delegation piece will be super, super easy. But if you don't have high quality people working with you, you don't have highly quality people that you can trust, whether or not they're on the payroll or they're a subsect of some other subcontract that you're working on or some other thing that's going on, or maybe they're just a part of your advisory council or whatever it is, you'll be able to delegate with them much easier. In fact, they're almost volunteer to do it. If they're excited about your vision, if they're excited about your mission, if it's compelling and interesting enough, you're going to get people on board. It's vision that gives strength and gives character to whatever you're doing in the organization, and your execution strategy and how you're going to pull it all off, and your communication of all that stuff. That's super, super valuable and super important. Okay, last thing you want to do is you want to create a calendar view of all of your major priorities and objectives. Right. This is what I did for Coffee Tea, You and Me back in the day. Right. I want you to see how every day or every month I'm working on several different objectives. I'm working on several different, priorities. And I'm trying to make sure that I'm knocking it all out. By February, I'm doing this, that. By March, I'm doing this, that, and that. And the pace of it is something that you have to keep up with. Now, I've said all this to say that if you want to become a master, if you want to really, really take these 9 steps that I showed you and develop maximum trust within your inner circle, your core inner circle of people who could invest in you, who will support you, who will help guide and direct your organization and things that you do forward in a way that's going to be meaningful, powerful, and really, really outstanding representation of what you bring to the table, what you want to bring to the table, you're going to be great. But if you don't want to take the time, if you don't want to follow the steps, I promise you, just like the steps in a ladder, right? You don't want to miss a rung on the ladder, starting from the bottom all the way up. You don't want to miss that rung, any rungs on that ladder. You want to go back, listen to all the videos, try to figure out ways to make all of this work for yourself. Take advantage of all the free tools that I've already laid out for you guys. And again, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to call me, feel free to comment, feel free to give me a heads up that you like this idea, that you want to know more about this, blah, 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 blah. I'm still toying with the next series that I'm going to be doing. I'm thinking I'm going to be doing a little bit more about the Hero Council. I'm not sure. But if you have an idea or concept that you haven't heard of yet, or maybe something that you want me to expound upon, do me a favor, put it in the chat, hit me up, text me, call me, whatever you want to do. Let's figure out how to make it work. Okay, guys, this is the end of today's program. I don't see a lot of action going on in the comment section, so there's no reason for me to hang out if you guys don't want to hang out and ask any questions, do anything. So I'm very thankful for those of you who are logged on. Very thankful for those of you who share this. If you're checking it out over the weekend and you want to share it, don't worry about it. The chats and all that kind of stuff will still be active and up and running. I'm looking forward to seeing you. Looking forward to hearing from you. This is Coach Powell signing off with Coffee, Tea, You and Me. Y'all have a great and fantastic weekend. Thank you so much.